Hello. In this video I'm going to use a Python program to get values out of a CSV file. So I just want to show you the basic setup that I've got here. I've got a directory, this is on my desktop but it doesn't really matter where it is. There is a file in there called pets.csv and a Python script called managepets.py. Now the Python script is empty. I want to show you the contents of the CSV file. I just wrote this myself. That's the beauty of the CSV. They're very easy to construct. So in the first column I've got the name, then the species, and then their secret name, and I've got that for 4 of our animals, so that's a pretty simple data set right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this code off the wiki, but I'm going to introduce it one bit at a time. So first things first, I'm going to import 2 libraries. One is CSV and the other is OS, and the OS is so that I can make sure that the program is looking in the same directory as itself when it goes looking for that file. So I ran those just to make sure that there were no errors, because you shouldn't trust anything you get off the internet or anything you get from anywhere really. You should always give it a bit of a look. So this bit of script here is creating this variable called script directory. It's using the OS library and it's getting the path, and then it's creating the path to the CSV by joining together that first bit, which is the path that it finds, and the name pet CSV, which is the name of the file. So let's run that. There we go. I actually see here that I think the word type might be a reserved word, so I'm going to change it to species. But I'll have to remember to change the code as I go along. So there's that. So what I'm interested in is to see where it is. So print script directory. So when I run it, it should tell me the name of the directory that it's sitting in. Yep, and I had forgotten, well, not forgotten, I had mistyped, so let's run that again. Yep, that's correct. That is in fact where that file is. Alright, so far so good. Let's go back and get some more code. So, we're going to go and open it, open that file and have this reader object. Now I'm going to edit this a bit as I go. So, with open, the CSV path, which is the name of the file plus where it is, R is saying we're reading it, and file is the name of what we're creating. So now we're saying this other object called reader, which I think is an array, is from the CSV thing we've imported. It's using its own inbuilt function called reader with this thing called file, and it's going through it line by line. For now, I'm going to take that out and I'm just going to print row. And what we should see is each row from the CSV file. There we go, so there it is, but it's still as CSV. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to undo that and get the previous code. So what it's doing is saying, hey, I want you to append this array or list here, and I want you to append it with the thing in row in spot 0, which is the first one. So that's the item before the first comma. Second one is the type. Now we know that we're not using type anymore, we're using species, and we're appending that to species, and then we're appending it to the name. Now when we run it, it actually shouldn't show us terribly much because we're building those up, but we're not actually seeing anything of any, we're not telling it to print anything. So what I'm going to do is get it to print the name array. In Python that's called a list. I'm going to get it to print species, and you know what, since I'm in the neighborhood I may as well get secret name. So we'll have a look at those 3 arrays and see what they look like by the time we've run them. Yep, well that makes sense. So there's our first array, Indiana, Emmylou, Cosmo and Zelda. Yep, all our arrays are in place. Everybody seems to be minding their own business. So let's go back to the code we're borrowing from. So now that I know that that's in there, I'm actually going to count through the items in the array because I want to now display this data nicely that I've got. I want it to look good rather than just dumping the CSV values on the user. So now when I run them, you'll see I've got this sort of semi-manageable table here. Name, species, because I'm saying type down here, and I stopped using that, and I'm using species instead. Alright, let's run it again. There we go, Indiana dog, secret name, paddle dog. So there you go. That's how we can get things, and we can make them arrays, and we can cycle through and present those arrays. So I hope that's been useful to you, and I'll see you in another video for how we would then write to this file.